there appears to be no conspiracy theory dumb enough for Joe Rogan to try to highlight on his podcast. Recently, he had echoed claims that Australia is going to stop people from growing their own food. Take a look.
You know, I want to find out what this is, but I read something briefly and I didn't get into the article. But they were saying that they were trying to pass a bill that would outlaw you growing your own food in Australia.
Oh, my God.
Did you read that?
Nah.
It was a part of Australia. I think it was New South Wales. Someone was trying to pass a law that won't allow you to grow your own food. And they were saying, well, you could grow your own food, and what if the disease is from your food? It infects the population, kills us all. We can't have that.
Oh, they pulled that card.
I want to know what their justification was, but I'm pretty sure it had to do with like agricultural contamination or, you know, like, I mean, you could justify it if you're a real piece of shit. You could say, well, you know, most pandemics have come from agriculture, animal agriculture. We can't have unchecked pig ownership. That's not fair. We can't if you're growing vegetables. What if your vegetables have ergot in them and diseases? Fucking creeps, man. These fucking creeps, they got a good grip on people during the pandemic. They locked everybody down in Australia, and then, you know what? We gotta stop these motherfuckers from growing their own food, because that's how you fucking smoke out an anti-vaxxer. Make you can't even go to the grocery store anymore, and you can't grow your food.
No, dependent.
Take that shot, bitch.
He had to turn it into an anti-vax thing. Did you know you couldn't grow your own food in Australia? That's how you get to the that's how you get the anti-vaxxers out. What? What? No, the guy is so desperate for a crumb of real oppression. Oh, please oppress me, Daddy, so that I can make more content for anti-vaxxers. As if you're not already rich enough from clicks and views or your Spotify deal. Multi-million-dollar Spotify deal. Look, that anti-vax grift, that is real. That is real. And it's lucrative. You make so much money off, doing anti-vax videos. Do you know how easy it would be to sell out? Super easy. I could get millions of YouTube followers in a very short amount of time if I decided to completely abandon all facts and logic and reason. I mean, seriously. It's the algorithm. It's almost like it rewards being deeply irresponsible. Now, speaking of factual information. So now I want to show you how Rogan was basically disproved by 10 seconds of Googling. Take a look.
Did you find anything?
You are now dependent upon the state.
Passes bill.
I mean, I know what to look for. Nothing's coming up. The closest thing I could find was something like this. That's not
New
what
food. No,
you
it's
were
not.
saying.
It's not New
It's New
Zealand.
Zealand.
It's in Australia.
I know, but this is close.
New Zealand is like right around the corner.
Could have.
It's got to be a real thing. It seems too good to not be.
It's obviously.
I typed in outlaw growing food in Australia, and not a single thing comes up.
Hold on.
Except for that, which was a false thing.
Growing your own food.
They want us completely dependent.
Yeah, I can't find it either.
On,
Damn it. It better not be fake. It might be fake.
But even if it's fake, right? Like the fake is usually the warning.
Better not be fake. Better not be fake. Oh God, it's fake. I love the cope at the end. I mean, that doesn't mean that it's not fake. Based on what? There's no evidence. No evidence. Look, this is somebody who desperately wants to be right and cannot handle being proven wrong. Now, let me show you the source for this. The start of the entire conversation, right? Let me show you the source. It's a tweet by real Carl Vernon. Australia is passing a bill to prevent people from growing their own food. Totally normal. Huh. Weird. Basing it on a tweet. Now, Carl Vernon, by the way, look, I hadn't heard of this guy before. I looked into him a little bit at his Twitter account mainly. I did more research than Joe Rogan did, even doing that little. And it turns out that the guy posts some weirdo COVID conspiracy stuff, a lot of stuff about Bill Gates, and then, of course, there's some fun, climate denialism. Someone writes a book on climate change, warns everyone rising sea levels. Same person buys a seafront mansion. No one questions a thing. Sea level rise, it takes a while, right? I'm just saying, it takes a while. You don't quite know how it works. I mean, okay. Again, the vetting that Joe Rogan does on his show. So now there's more to this. It appears that Carl Vernon might have gotten his information from this. Apex World News. Premier Dan Andrews passing bill that prohibits people from growing their own food. The Agricultural Legislation Amendment Bill 2022 has had its second reading in Parliament. Biosecurity is stated for the reason for the changes. Now, I looked up Apex World News. They were incorporated, I think, in 2020 or 2021 and dissolved. Their website is defunct, so they don't actually have a website. And then you go to their Twitter, and they're one of those weirdo breaking news, scammy, sometimes sharing fake news or just sharing videos of random stuff, of new stuff. That's your source. That's your source. Well done. Well done. Now, let me give you the facts of what's actually going on in Australia. Which again, simple search, 10 minutes, we could actually figure that out. What's true? The bill, which had a third reading in the Victorian Legislative Assembly, was created to make amendments to 11 separate acts to deliver improvements across biodiversity and food safety, veterinary practice, agricultural chemical use, among other purposes, according to Victorian MP Kat Theophilus' official website. The bill prohibits sale of diseased plants and pest animals, but does not make any mention of outlawing the growth of one's own food in any capacity. A Victorian government spokesperson then told Reuters, no one will be prevented from growing their own food as part of these changes, adding the bill was designed to support agriculture and safeguard food safety and security. Another debunked claim that they were talking about, that they referenced here, is New Zealand. That suggested New Zealand's Food Act of 2014 had outlawed the human right to grow food, and again, that is not true. Professor Paul Martin, director of the Australian Centre for Agriculture and Law, also told AAP Fact Check there's nothing in the Australian bill to prohibit individuals from growing food. What the legislation does is provide a way to of dealing with potential biodiversity issues and invasive species problems that have emerged or could emerge. Some of these are serious, real threats, and laws are being tightened in response to make existing controls easier to enforce. He said in an email. That same person, by the way, said, could I say the conspiracy theorists are totally wrong and that these laws can't be abused? No, because virtually any policing power might be abused. Fair enough. But is it going to happen? Australian courts are generally very protective of the rights of citizens and generally resist government agencies that try to abuse legal powers. Which is why I think there is no practical risk of the laws being used to prohibit domestic vegetable or fruit growing unless the plants posed a genuine biodiversity risk. I believe that it would be politically impossible, if nothing else, for the legal powers to be abused in this way. But there's more. Professor Michael Blakeney from the University of Western Australia's Institute of Agriculture said he couldn't find anything within the bill that prevents people cultivating food crops on their own properties. Roke Reynolds, professor at the law of law at the Australian Catholic University, specializing in agriculture, said the amendments have added regulations to the growing of legal cannabis, but do not otherwise change much about growing your own. Reuters also found no evidence that the legislation includes plans to prevent people from growing their own food. So, yes, if you actually read the article, if you actually just don't get your news from a tweet, you might find out, oh, this is what's actually happening, and it turns out fake news is fake. Who would have known? Look, I'm in favor of people growing their own food, by the way. I think community gardens would be a fantastic thing. Do we ever talk about that? No. Does Joe Rogan ever talk about community gardens and the need for that? No, because it always reverts to conspiracy theory bullshit. That's what it goes down to. Look, we should encourage more community gardens because there is volatility in the food supply. We should break up giant agricultural companies. We should eliminate factory farming. We should do all that stuff. And you know what? If you're going to be talking about these issues, then you might want to actually, I don't know, talk about those issues in a factual basis and then actually offer solutions. Spreading conspiracy theories and bullshit is not helping anyone because it makes you look fucking stupid when 10 seconds of Googling destroys your argument. And then you go on to continue your argument. No, this is not difficult. This should not be a big ask. But if you're going to talk about things, when you have a gigantic platform, for God's sakes, do 10 seconds of freaking Googling before you spread nonsense.